Okay, so this is a machine overhead row. So all of your row machines in the gym are going to look very fancy, unnecessarily complicated. There's only one thing that matters: where your arm starts off, where your arm finishes. If you're pulling from above, it doesn't matter if you're pulling from above with wide hands, narrow hand, these handles, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're pulling from above like this, that's an overhead row. A lat pull down is a variation of an overhead row. It's a vertical pull down, okay? If I'm pulling at more of an angle like this, okay, you would call that high to low. So it's not quite overhead, but it's high to low. If I'm pulling middle height, that's a low row, so I'm pulling sort of middling like this. And then if I'm going nice and wide like that, that's what you call upper back row, because the elbows are very flared. You're training more the upper back and less the lats. So it doesn't matter in the machine choice. It doesn't need to be this machine if someone has programmed an overhead row. It's just one where the handles start quite high above you. So whenever I'm here, if my hands are relatively high up, it's a high row, okay? Now, I want to be sitting in a position where this locks my knees into the machine. So if I'm sitting like this, I want it to be in a position where this is nice and tight, so I'm anchored into the seat. I don't want to be in a position where this is up high and there's all this rattling. See there? Like it's rattling about. I'm not locked in, and that means that when the weight's up above me, I'm using a very light weight for an example, but if there isn't that, you'll be lifted off the seat, okay, which is useless. So you want to be like this, locked in nice and tight, okay? I'm going to get a hold of the handles. I'm going to bring myself down, going to get myself into the machine nice and tight like this, and then all I'm thinking about doing is driving straight down. A mistake people make with not just this machine specifically, but nearly all rowing movements, is they'll pull the elbows too far back, especially from overhead. So if you come around to about here for me, whenever I'm sitting like this, it's only elbows down. This weight is pulling directly up, so I want to be pulling directly down. My elbow should finish here. If I start to pull my elbows behind my back, that would only work if the tension is pulling me this way, if that's the line of force, which it isn't. So it's straight up above the head, like this. So I pull it straight down, like that. Straight up overhead like that. I should feel a nice deep stretch, so I'm allowing my shoulder blades to lift up. I'm allowing the scapula, the whole shoulder girdle, to extend. So if you sat like this, you could be mistaken for thinking that that's a good stretch. I can get quite a bit more there with not just the length of my arm, but I want to let my shoulder to lift up as well. See this versus this. The arm is straight in both, but that extra movement there stretches all around the shoulders, all around the armpits. It stretches your upper back muscles, your lats, everything. So instead of this, I want as much of a stretch as I can. You should really feel it here, a stretching sensation. And then what I'm doing up here is I drive straight down. Squeeze for a brief moment, back up, deep stretch, down like this. Preferably a machine that allows you to keep your hand like this one. This is a really good one, is good. But if you have to, and the handles are like this, or if they're wider, or if they're any, that's fine. It's still an overhead row, preferably the way it is there, but it does not matter. Ultimately, an overhead row is simply, it's over your fucking head, and you're rowing down. And that is overhead row machine.